read it, you think they care, they don't. So, you want communication. Now, what does communication mean to you guys?
I just want to know like how quickly you're going to respond. So like if we have a question, are we going to be able to talk to you, or is it going to be someone on your team? How do you communicate with people?
Okay. Communication, and you want to be sure that you're communicating with me. Awesome. What is the next thing you're looking for from a realtor that you would pick?
Well, I just want to know like how much you're going to spend marketing your house.
Awesome. So you want to know more about our marketing plan, like what's going to cause it to sell for the most amount of money?
Yes.
Rephrase the question how you want to answer it. They don't know what they just asked. Okay? They really don't. That was not a trick on my part. I'm just going to tell her how I'm going to answer her question, and she's going to say, yes, that's fine. Because she doesn't even know what she's asking. She just read it on Google, if anything. How much are you going to spend on marketing? Really? Do you just really want your house sold? So what's going to cause it to sell for the most amount of money? That's an awesome question. Right? So here's what we do, though. We go into like roller skate mode. They ask us a question like that, and then you're dancing around on your roller skates trying to answer every question. Awesome. Number 3, what would be the third thing you'd be looking for from a realtor you would pick?
Well, we kind of talked about mostly communication. I just want to know how you're going to communicate with us and kind of what you think about the house.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd be looking for from a realtor?
No, not at this point.
Awesome. So as long as we can demonstrate that we could accomplish and actually exceed all 3 of your expectations, or basically get past all of the expectations you have, would you allow us to handle the sale?
Possibly when we do our interviews with other agents.
Awesome. But other than interviewing other agents, you'd feel comfortable.
Yes.
I'm going to get her to commit. See, she said yes now a few times. The more I get this 5 or 6 times through this presentation, it's very, very simple at the end to have me just call the other agents, because I'd be happy to do that, still pay them half the commission, and have them actually still bring a buyer through the property, right? Because what more would they do, right? We've done the research for you. I mean, we pull out that one sheet that outlines what we do. This is what the average agent does. And for those of you that don't have it, it just looks like this. This is what the average agent does to sell a house. This is what the average team does to sell a house. And this is what we do to sell a house. And we do the same thing as everyone else. That's what that one page says, right? So that if I ever have to bring anything out, I only bring out that page. And then I just start right here and I just say, so what I'll promise you is that if you want to get anyone else's plan, I'll add, if there's anything missing from what we do, I'll add it free of charge, and I'll make sure that it never gets omitted, right? The reason we do more than any other agent on the planet is because I've added everything that everyone else does, and I'll never miss anything. So if you find something you want added, we'll add it. Is that fair? Okay?
Sure.
Awesome. So you can rest assured that there will never be anyone that's offering more, because every month I ask questions of clients like you, say, hey, if there's someone that's doing something that we're not, I'll add it to yours for free. And to every other client going forward, which is how we've added everything so far. Is that fair?
Good.
Yeah, so you don't need your other meetings. Back to our appointment. So, well, let's talk a little bit more about why you guys even want to sell anyway.
This is just too big for us. We need to downsize. We're older.
Okay.
We're getting older.
Why not stay for a few more years?
Just way too much space, and we want on one level.
Okay. If you could pick the perfect time, when would you move?
We're not in any hurry,
Of course not. That's good.
but we know that the market's picking up, so we're thinking that we want to do it within the next month or so.
Okay. And you would definitely be moving to a 1 level?
Probably.
Okay. Now, insert knowledge of the market, demographics, and what's happening here. We're not going to do that because we just spent 15 minutes doing it. I would insert that here, and I would spend a lot of time talking about demographics, where the market's going, and the knowledge, right? You don't need to be in a hurry, but you're smart. You're smart to be ahead of the curve, right? You could wait 5 or 6 years, 7 years, and you'll be in the midst of them, right? But I'll tell them they're smart for being ahead of it. I wish more and more people would do it, and I fear that when they do, the market's going to be in for a really big shift, much bigger than we had before. because the baby boomers invented the big houses in the 90s. Prior to the 90s, no, the Rockefellers lived in a smaller house than you do, right? A 4,000 square foot house. The Rockefellers grew up in a 2,700 square foot house, by the way. Okay, so this mini McMansionville that we think is normal, we totally think this is normal, by the way. You're having a brain, a brain problem. This is not normal. We have houses twice the size that they need to be, and we think it's completely normal. And it's just never been for the last 300 years, it's never been that way. But for the last 20, it has. Right? You go talk to anyone over 70 and they will agree that this is not normal. Right? Because it's only happened for 20-something years while the baby boomers were just feeling depressed because they focused on 2 careers and they focused on all the money and they didn't pay attention to their kids or something. So they went to justify spending more money and being in a bigger house to make themselves feel better or something. Right? There's a lot of stuff out on the reason it's happened, but I don't think we can not pay attention to the fact that it really did not happen prior to the 90s, ever. So because of that, just write it down that you heard it here. I mean, it's going to be a seismic shift in 20 years. So talk to them about that. Answer their questions. I'm going to insert that whole thing about the demographics. So do you have any other concerns or questions about what we do or how we would accomplish everything that you're looking to get accomplished?
How well do you know this area?
Very well. I know you want me to say more. I know you do. You got to understand that they only thought of these questions this morning, by Googling it. Okay? They moved 17 years ago, by the way. Okay? They are not good at this. You have to get good at this. Confidence is 98% of the battle. The fact that you actually think that question is relevant enough to spend 30 minutes talking about something that doesn't matter, right? Yes, I know your market. Yes. How well do you know our market? Very well. Right? How are you going to answer it? Do you have, okay, what if she says something else, right? This is, again, we're like chess, right? How many houses have you sold? Come on.
How many houses have you sold in this area?
You know what? The number one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to sell yours. And so any agent that sells, they sold 5 houses in your neighborhood, how many houses did they sell last week? Right? Because what's most important is how many houses have they sold recently. If they sold 5 houses in your neighborhood and 4 of them are in the last 3 years, I wouldn't want to work with someone that had 1 closing every 5 months. Right? So at the end of the day, the most important question is, how many houses have you sold in the last 30 days? The answer to that is 21. Right? Help them. What's that?
No matter what.
Just say 21.
Just 21.
Well, you can make up a number that's a lot, right? If you haven't sold any houses. Okay, so you've never sold a single house. You've never sold a single house. Anyone ever not sold a house? Or you haven't sold one? Okay, so this is for you. Every other realtor is going to come in here with their big, strong pedigree, and they're going to tell you that they sold 355,000 houses. Use that number. They sold 355,000 houses. What I have realized through all of my careers and everything I've ever done is I'll just take care of people and I do the very best job I can for you. The only house that I'm going to have on the market right now is yours. The only house I care about selling is yours. See, someone else can have 20 sales in your neighborhood, or they can have 20 sales going on right now. You're the only person I'm going to pay attention to, and I'm going to sell yours the fastest. Does that make sense? See, it's still going to make sense. Because they only give a shit about theirs.
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
I just want mine to sell. Right? Because when the guy asked me how many I've sold in North Oaks, I said none. And I will sell yours. You already had your house listed with the guy that sold the most houses in North Oaks, by the way, and that didn't work. I don't think he's very hungry. That's what he said. I don't think he's very hungry. I said, well, I am hungry. Super hungry. And you can tell by the size of me that I eat often. Right? Right? So I am starving right now. Right? And the only reason I'm not getting your paper signed right now is because you told me I couldn't. Otherwise, I'd be starting in the morning. So I think you can have fun with people, right? You can have fun with people. But if you've never sold a single house, then focus on why that's different, right? Why is that different? Yeah, Barb.
Okay, now, she had commission and all that you just went over and put it on the burner, so to speak, or laid it to rest. Are they coming back with the commission?
If it's important, they will. Yeah. If it's important, I didn't hear her say commission.
No, that was on before when we talked.
Okay. Then you do commission then. So other than commission, Barb, is there any reason you wouldn't hire us today?
No.
Awesome.
I only want to pay 5%.
Awesome. And so are you looking for the lowest number or are you looking for the fairest number?
Well, I'm looking for low and fair.
Okay? So as long as it's low and fair, as long as we can make a win-win so that we both feel like we're getting the very best.
Yep.
Okay? To you, is the net dollar of the house the most important thing?
Yes.
Okay, so the reason I'm going to bring this up is because there are many agents who will tell you what you want to hear and they discount their commission. Did someone tell you that they were willing to do that?
Yes.
Okay, and let me just tell you this. They're not bad people and their mother probably loves them. Okay, so at the end of the day, you hire me to negotiate and you hire me to market, right? And that's what you want, right, Barb?
Right.
Okay, so person that negotiates a not as high of a fee for themselves, they've already proven they're not a very good negotiator, right?
Right.
Okay, so you do want a good negotiator.
Right.
Okay, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to gouge you or get paid unfairly. But I will promise you that I'll hold on to my money so that I can prove to you that you're hiring the right negotiator for you. Does that make sense? See, I'm not here to sell you on it, right? If you will allow me to copy their plan, I'd be happy to copy their commission. Would you rather have my plan and get the most money for the house?
Yes.
You would. Okay. Shut up after you ask that, right? Because sometimes I want to keep going, right? And you heard me. If you didn't, you heard me struggle with pause, right? Sometimes I just want to like slap them. But you got to pause. So let them answer. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that you feel comfortable, Barb, referring your friends and family. As long as I sell your house for the best possible price with the least amount of problems, and this is a super convenient, as convenient a process as possible, would you feel comfortable referring me to your friends and family?
Sure.
And do you think it's fair if I charge you 6% to do that and have it be an awesome experience?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. And the reason I ask that is because, again, if you want me to copy their plan, I can just cut a bunch of stuff out of it, and then we can do what they do. Because I already know they don't do what I do. Here's the challenge, right? You will cut your commission when you don't have good service. When you have great service, it's really not about offering them much more, because you're already offering them great service. The challenge becomes when you don't offer great service and try to defend it as if it is. That's a big challenge, right? If you don't really do anything any different. However, I do know that most people are not going to get into the commission. They're not going to get into the commission objection. 70% of the time on a listing appointment, you're unopposed, right? 70%. So, I mean, 50%, you're on your friends and relatives listing appointment. Like, you basically decided to negotiate, like you started the issue, right? They might have wanted to bring it up, but at the end of the day, you just say, this is what it is.
I find that misleading.